This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, being 6:02,
Oh, I know what you're doing.
January 10th, 2024, we'll bring the Tilton Budget Committee to order. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, so we're missing a couple members, but as far as we know, we are a quorum because there's only 5 members on the board.
We say so.
All right, so review minutes.
Selectman Constantino's online, just so you know.
What was that?
Selectman Constantino's online, just so you
Okay,
know.
great.
Everybody behave.
Okay, I'd read these before, so I'll make a motion, we accept the minutes of January 3rd, 2024. But no rush.
I second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, the ayes have it. All right. Okay, so I guess we have another note from Brittany here from the Hall Memorial Library. Have you seen that? I can read it into the record in case there's anybody listening here. From Brittany Shanahan, Hall Memorial Library. I apologize for misspeaking at the prior meeting. I mixed up poverty and living wage. Staff makes less than the living wage. I'd like the record to reflect that mistake. Here is the website for that data, which is not on the page here.
It's
It's blue, so you have to
The
click
link.
on that.
Yeah.
You didn't write down the website?
I had sent the email to you, so I thought that you would have clicked on it through the email.
I didn't see this.
I sent a whole bunch of stuff on Friday. I sent everything.
For some reason I missed this. Anyways, so that's under a website which we'd have to look up. The website mentions that the living wage model generates a cost of living estimate that exceeds the federal poverty thresholds. As calculated, the living wage estimate accounts for the basic needs of a family. I'm not sure how big the family is, but the living wage model does not include funds that cover what many may consider as necessities enjoyed by many Americans. You will note on that page that typical annual salary for library work is $54,157. I believe that part of the mix-up came from the information on this site as well, which states, compared to other states, New Hampshire has a high median household income and low official poverty rate, yet nearly 100,000 Granite Staters live in poverty. In 2021, over 1 in 4 Granite State households had less than $50,000 per year in income, and more than 1 in 6 had less than $35,000. Okay,
Well,
we'll just have to look up that other.
I'm on the site. So
Okay.
living wage with no children is $17.23. We don't know if this adult service librarian at 1850 has children or not. It doesn't matter. Everybody else is under 40 hours a week. It's hard to calculate a living wage when you don't work a 40-hour week, right? So
Right.
if you choose to work 30 hours, 10 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours, that's, unfortunately, those hourly rates are going to be less than someone that works a 40-hour-a-week position, right?
And
'Cause
they
they're
typically
part-time
have
positions.
been, yeah, over
The living
typical.
wage with 2 children is $25.38. So, I mean, if you take Brittany's 48,000 divided by, 52 weeks by 40 hours, I'm sure she's in that area at that amount. I can do it if I get off this website, but I mean, I understand her argument, but you also got to look apples to apples.
Right.
If you don't work 40 hours a week, how do you compare it to the living wage? That's all
You
I'm going to
can't.
say. You can't.
You
So,
just can't.
I have noticed that they've increased the hours on a couple of their members because I think because they're minus one full-time.
Probably, yeah.
They're minus a 40-hour a week. So, I mean, that's something I just noticed that when I was
Let me do her.
reviewing the materials I had. They've increased,
So she makes $23.45 an hour.
right.
So, but anyway,
And they've increased from 30 to 37, no, from 28 to 37, the children's service librarian from 28 hours to 37. And then they've
have to pick up the slack of the open
then the
position.
the programming librarian has gone from, one of them went
30?
from, the library assistant went from 10 hours to 20 hours.
Okay. Well,
Yeah. So,
it's all good information. I mean, I appreciate her clarifying the record. 'Cause-
yeah.
But anyway,
Okay. All right. So, is there any other discussion on the funding request for the library? And have we voted on that?
We haven't voted, the only thing we voted on
As
was
we asked
not
it
to
for the-
fund them, to
Yeah.
flatline them.
Yeah.
we
the
asked him to
3%.
give us the calculations at 3%, and then we
Yeah.
were going to vote.
Yeah. So we'd entertain a motion
Well,
or do you want to
so
wait?
it was suggested to me that if we're going to increase their funding, the money that we're sending them for services they provide, then we were thinking of doing that to help increase their wages. We'd only need to do 1.5% because Northfield pays the other. You see what I mean? That was suggested to me. Why are we thinking of
Do
increasing
we
it?
know what Northfield decided?
Actually,
Yes.
Sue said she had some information. Would you
That
like to,
help?
would you wanted to share that with us?
Would that help you if you hear what Northfield's doing?
No.
But I'd like to know, though.
Okay.
Northfield funded them completely. No discussion, and they did it.
What was
I mean,
it?
they discussed a little bit at the beginning, and then when they came time for their motion, they passed it with the funding that they asked for.
Oh, okay. So
Full
they funded them
15%
100%.
increase.
The full, whatever the amount, what the total amount, let me see, I have it written down.
Well, that'll help them get more than 3% then.
Well, and I'm wondering too, because
Yeah, the 154, 148 that was asked for.
the percentage of services they provide
Mhm.
our residents is, I don't remember what the figures were that we came up with. But it's not 50-50.
No, we're 40 to 45%, I think. Of, similar to the Pines, where
Well, Pines is really
well,
skewed.
yeah,
We're way
yeah,
off.
I know, but
That's more
again,
like-
it's because we don't have as many people as, so it's hard to get that many more active users if you don't have as many people. Same thing with the Pines. I mean, they're not going to get as many because there aren't as many.
They're not going to get as many customers, but still the
Right.
percentages of the percentages, they're,
Sure.
the
No,
Pines is what? 30-70?
I think it's 23% Tilton residents for the
Or
Pines.
is it
Yeah.
that low for us? And then I forgot, like I said, I forgot what the library was, but even though it's
I
lower,
want to say
it's
the
still
library,
percentage.
the library cars, I think she said it was like somewhere like 1,900 something for Tilton residents and 2,300 something for Northfield, is the way I remember
Something
it.
like
That's
that,
not
yeah,
so
yeah,
skewed as the Pines.
Right.
Okay.
Thought I had it written down.
Okay.
Probably in some of my other minutes somewhere.
So,
I'd rather vote on it when we have everybody here.
okay, when you want to get a little more
You
discussion.
okay with that?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm okay with
Yeah,
that. I
that's
was going to
fine.
be a no anyway.
Yeah,
but-
yeah,
I know, I mean, just like give everybody an opportunity to
yeah,
weigh in.
that's fine. Yeah. Okay, let's see next.
It's like it's just gonna be, no.
Review the town budget. Did you have anything you wanted to talk about, Dave?
No, he's just here because he misses us.
I don't think, not everybody's here, so I don't know what the, get up here.
Yeah, come
I don't
on.
know what the plan was. If we were gonna vote, I know I'd seen the minutes, the last budget, meeting.
Yeah, yeah.
Something was brought up about, let me just get my information here. And we had discussed this, the meeting prior, with a position. And so I know, last week, something was brought up about our positioning, our 8th position, officer position that we have. And if any of you remember, it was probably about now it's been about 5 years. We went for that position, for that 8th position. That officer was there for 2 years and then he moved on to another department, but that was when everybody left. So we haven't been up to staff. But again, I don't want to sit up here and go through everything if I don't know, because the last thing, if we were voting or not, I was just told that right now they're going to wait until you guys have everybody for that last one. I just didn't know if that was going to happen here. I just wanted to be here if it was going to be voted on and speak a little bit about that, and however you want to go about that.
And
I was going to bring it up, but it is a major, for me, it's a major decision for us to make.
sure.
And I promise not to bring it up if we want to wait until
Yeah,
we
I
have
think we
more
should wait.
members.
I think for the tough ones, we should have as many members as possible to weigh in.
So is that going to be at the public hearing?
Is the public hearing next
We'd
week?
have to have another meeting.
We want to have another meeting because we
We'd
were
have
talking
to have-
about,
If we're going to do that, if we're going to wait on the library and wait on this, we'd have to have another meeting.
Okay, and hopefully everyone will show up.
Well, what we need to do is say, we're having this, we're gonna discuss it, we're gonna make a decision, everyone needs to be here.
Okay,
Or we're going to, or
we're
the
gonna
3
make
of
it
us
without
will
you.
make it for them.
yeah.
Giving you an opportunity to be here. If you're not here, we're making the decisions. Because our public hearing's not till what, the week after next?
Well, it can either be the 31st of January.
We haven't set
or
the
it could be
date. We were going to
7th.
set the date.
So we have
tonight.
another week
We're
we
gonna,
can do.
Yeah.
31st.
yeah,
right,
he
can
wants
we-
to
Get your
do, he
fingers
wants it on the
crossed.
31st. So
He's like,
if we have a meeting on the 20th, we're still fine for the 31st,
That's right.
right?
Oh,
Tim? Yeah,
Today is
oh,
only,
yes.
this is the 10th.
You have,
yeah, so we can
Today's
do it on
the
the
10th.
17th.
So we're gonna have it on the 17th. right.
Absolutely.
And then, so that'll give us plenty of, that's 2 weeks to the.
That's
public
2
hearing.
weeks for Tim to get everything ready for the public hearing.
Okay,
do we want to set the public meeting then for January 31st?
I would like to do that.
I'm okay with it, as long as the weather cooperates.
I'm fine.
Yeah, okay. Do that.
Hello.
Find out how to
Yeah.
do that. So.
So,
okay, that works.
yeah.
Nope, thank you.
Yeah,
That works.
and what were you gonna briefly talk about?
Just
Eliminating the
the
one position.
You were
from the
talking
PD.
about we could eliminate a position.
Yeah, that was a position. We had sat here a couple
A
weeks
position.
ago and when I did my budget, and she had brought that up and we had a good discussion about that, which was great. I failed to be here last week. I didn't know, I guess, the process. And I was informed that it was maybe brought up. It was just a quick snippet. I had watched the minutes and about that potentially being cut. And I wanted to obviously address again.
So you want to come on the 17th?
I want to come whenever you guys need me. I will be
And
here.
again, we are a recommendation body,
Yes.
and
Yep.
then at town meeting, anything could change.
Yep. Nope.
So,
I agree with. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a position that's already there. It's not an added position. This is not something that we're asking more for. It's a position that I actually already have somebody slotted for. I've already done the background on this candidate. I've already done the polygraph, the site, use town money. But obviously
Okay.
now I don't want to do that until we get the go ahead. So,
Sure.
all right,
Yeah.
excellent.
You
So-
don't have to wait on us, but.
No, I know. Well, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Night, Chief.
Right, it was a part of our 23 budget, that position.
Yeah. Right.
I do have a couple of revisions.
Okay.
In the budget that I handed out tonight,
All right, Tim.
or Sue handed. So one thing that that I had asked the Board of Selectmen to do was to go back and negotiate with our janitorial contract. And tomorrow night, I hope that they will be in agreement and sign. I was able to affect basically a 1.2% increase, whereas they were asking for an 11.5% increase. So without a change of scope and services.
What line is that? Are we on?
So there are three different areas that it appears in the budget. So the first is in the town hall budget, and those are the services for town hall. That's on, let's see, it's on line 4194, 385 on page 3. And it's about the sixth line up from the bottom, seventh line up from the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going down slightly. And I had already made, well, you'll see that we spent more than that this last year, and that was partially because we had to do cleanup upstairs of the construction,
Mm-hmm.
and there were other cleaning issues that we had. So in any case, there's that, and then on the it actually works out to be a $422 reduction in their contract for town hall, although
Okay.
it is obscured the way it was budgeted this last year. But in the PD, it reflects an $1,100 reduction in their janitorial line, and that's on page 10. And that is the second from the bottom, showing that it went down $1,520 on this. But again, that's from the budgeted amount. So it's actually going to be slightly higher. And so the other thing to keep in mind is there are times during the year when we have to call for a special cleanup or, some such thing. So, that has happened for various reasons. And, but in any case, so that's one thing that's been changed. It also appears in the Parks Commission line for Riverfront Park cleaning, but because that had been under budgeted, it now properly reflects in the Parks Commission budget the cost of servicing Riverfront Park. And then the senior center remains zero charge for cleaning the senior center.
So is the janitorial on the parks 3916 is correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
We didn't really review that budget.
No, you haven't. And in fact, there's a couple of other lines, and my apologies if we were going to move a line and I hadn't gotten around to it. There's Lakes Region Planning, which was still listed in the outside agencies, of 4270. That would complete the total amount for outside agencies. And then in Culture and Recreation, I think the only thing you're missing is Park Commission expenses and park maintenance for the island. And then the summer concert series.
Tim, I have a question.
Yes.
You said that for the police department, the money for the extra, I'm going to call it extra officer, was in the budget last year.
Yes.
However, under officers' wages, it's almost $100,000 increase from last year.
So
if that was in the budget last year for full complement, all of whatever
right.
that magic number is, why is that line increased $100,000?
Primarily because we don't have the same staffing that we had this last year. We did hire some. We hired a couple of people that were more expensive than the prior people that were holding those positions. The attorney prosecutor was one.
The
Prosecutor's in that line.
where we had a prosecutor before, I mean, $100,000 increase? for that
No,
line?
not entirely for the prosecutor, but I'm saying that when we were hiring, we were having to hire at higher wages in some respects than the position that was vacated. Not, and I can give you, let's see, where are we here?
So you're saying it's a combination of a couple
It's
different
a
positions?
couple of different things.
But the,
And-
okay, could you break that down for us, please?
Yeah,
I mean, you don't have to do it right now.
I'm sure I
For
can.
next week, that would be right.
That would be helpful. Because
Yeah,
I
the
was under
88
the impression you were too, that it was additional $100,000. That it was not in the budget before.
It wasn't in the budget before, and I can't, I mean, Tim can come up with it, but I certainly can't, because you have to remember, the majority of those employees are union. Those are fixed wages. For
They
3
come
years.
in with, they come in with different experiences, therefore they're paid at a higher wage than the other people were that left.
Right. And then also
So,
keep in mind, we had the Warren article that increased wages overall, this past
Okay.
year. But yeah, I can work on a breakdown for that for you.
It's dry in here. Eyeballs
I
are
won't promise, but I might stop picking on it. I just know it's unconscionable for us to be presented with a budget. What was it originally, like 8 point something percent?
It's not now.
No, now it's down to 5.7, but
Yeah.
that's in thanks to a lot of Tim's hard work.
Well, that's,
And you and your sword.
But we still need to whittle it.
so did you want to fill out the culture and recreation and then the outside agencies?
I
Since
thought we
that
did
Sure.
seems to be more housekeeping.
I mean, we can vote on those next week when everybody else is here, but
Oh, okay, all right.
that's what you're asking us just to confirm those amounts, right?
So yeah, you have four lines that I can see: park commission expenses, park maintenance for the island, which is for the hydrology study, and then the culture summer concert series, and then the last thing is the Lakes Region
Lakes
planning.
Region planning, yeah.
It's a
And
really
it-
strange place for that hydrological study.
Well, that's where it had been originally inserted by the former town administrator, since it was dealing with the island.
Next to the park commission, yeah. So,
What's the
Okay.
park commission's total budget? Oh, I see it right there.
31,196.
31,196.
Yeah.
Make a motion to approve park commission expenses for $31,196.
I actually sort of can't vote on that
I'll
because
second.
I'm a member, so,
So am I.
okay.
So we have a problem.
All right,
I'm hearing somebody.
all right,
You have another member.
Dun, da, da.
all right.
Oh, should I get Chief Gilman back?
6:30 in my head. Have we ever met at 6:30? I have chocolate for you, Jude, if you need some. Good thing. Where am I sitting tonight? Right here.
Wherever you'd like, Judy.
I have a present for you too. Does it? But it looks pretty. I seconded it.
Okay, so the motion on the floor is to accept the park commission expenses at 31,196.
There's a new one in your pile. A new budget.
We haven't had anybody really, Tim, can you just go over why it's up 18%?
It's on the page 11. The cultural
Well, let's see.
I know the
I've-
janitorial cleaning is.
The
is up.
janitorial was about $2,000 of that, of the increase, of the $4,700 increase. I believe the rest of it was weeding. Weeding was increased. And I think
Might be
also
fireworks.
the fireworks and mixture of the programs. So the programs amount increased as well.
Okay, yeah, more programs, yeah.
I think more money was added to Christmas.
Uh-huh,
And in the past, you had not budgeted for the magic show.
right.
Or magic show.
Go. Any other discussion? Did you have any questions, Judy?
Nope.
Since you came in
Pretty
kind of
clear.
late. Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Hi.
All those opposed?
Strike my eye. I'm going to
Oh,
decline.
that's right.
I'm going to decline to vote.
All those opposed? And I'm going to abstain myself, just because I'm a member of the board.
So 2-0, can we do that?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a majority.
Okay.
Two yeses and two abstentions.
Right.
No, one abstention. I'm
One
declining to
You're
vote.
declining to vote, okay.
So that would leave the park maintenance island, summer concert series, and Lake Sturgeon planning.
So we hadn't done a hydrological study on that before?
That's correct.
That was because of the
The state program?
Yeah, and the erosion.
the erosion, that's the
Yep.
word I was looking for,
Yep.
erosion.
Well,
So, I mean, this is a placeholder. I don't know. I know that Selectman Dawson had been involved in trying to get more quotes and bids. So this, might be adjusted over time as we
Yeah,
get.
this is not the cost of it, although we do have money in the reserve fund that was created originally for this purpose. And I don't know what money is in that reserve fund.
I can tell you.
Find out for next time.
Yeah, I've got it here.
We don't need to raise another 25.
I know one of these had a list of those reserve funds.
this in
I
conjunction.
can give you the most recent.
Okay.
It's, let's see, as of the end of December, reserve fund had $87,139.50.
We haven't gotten estimates when the previous town administrator left it. Everything stopped on the island.
Except for the erosion.
And is this in conjunction to the state program of working the?
No,
No, this doesn't have anything to do with that.
well, we created this reserve fund. God, what, 10 years ago?
Yeah,
At least?
more than, yeah.
At least. Because
It needs to
we
be
had a big
repaired.
event. Remember we had the 100-year flood event, the
Mhm.
50-year flood event? And well, it was around that time. I mean, the erosion that was taking place in the island, because some of it is vandalism. The granite blocking had been moved. Some of it was moved by the river itself,
Sure.
but some was vandalism. The gabions are still in place. If you go over there when the water's a little lower, you can actually see the gabions.
What's the gabion?
Oh, I'm sorry. It's
I thought
actually
she was
it's
talking about a
actually
child.
Italian for basket.
That whole,
You've seen them along the highway, the wire with the stones.
okay.
These are actually wire baskets with stones in them, which helps prevent erosion.
Okay.
So that's when it was created, and it just was never followed through.
Well, it was also specific to a very specific report and study at the time. So then a few years ago, we changed that to be more broad for the island, so it could be used for other things.
We wanted to use the money for other purposes.
So I was going to say the historical cost of maintaining the island in terms of trimming, mowing, that sort of thing has been between $2,000 and $3,000 on an annual basis once we took over 100% of the care of it. So I suppose what you could do is you could reduce this by $22,000 and decide to make, to use the capital reserve or
Isn't
recommend
that
it.
cost of maintenance carried in the highway budget? They're the ones that do the maintenance.
No, it's not. No, it's shown, it's always shown separately in the park maintenance island budget.
Oh, because the park commission doesn't really have anything to do with the island anymore.
That's right. This was a separate line for park maintenance. So
It says
the
island.
electricity for the
We don't
park.
show, and I'm questioning
Yeah.
because it just seems odd to me. We don't show the cost of the park maintenance for Riverfront.
No, No, that's part of, that's within your park commission expenses.
No, that's done by highway.
Well, I should say for electricity, security and that sort of thing. For the actual maintenance of the park, yes, that is in the highway budget.
Yeah, I'm just
But
curious. It seems weird.
This line always existed, especially when we were sharing the maintenance of the island with the town of Northfield. It would give us a way of calculating what we
That's
spent so
why.
that we could bill Northfield for their
That's
share
why it's
or
separate.
request
We
their share.
collect at least that in revenue anyway from the rentals and stuff? Not lately, but in the past?
No.
No?
No. Mm-mm.
We've never rented the island.
We don't, yeah, we
I
haven't,
thought we charged them something.
not for the island, no.
Oh.
Typically,
I thought we
all the
did.
parks that if you reserve a
Just like a
spot,
deposit or
you
something?
put a deposit when you get it
Okay.
back unless
Okay.
there's damage.
Right.
Okay.
So
that's
Or
we
what I
don't,
unless
was-
we
it's a
don't really,
commercial
we don't
use.
make money.
Okay.
making-
The
Unless
Riverfront
it's a
Park has
for-profit
had
use.
some,
Right.
has
right.
had some commercial uses and we have had some revenue from that, which goes into into the revolving fund for the Parks Commission.
So my suggestion, and that's what that extra money was for the hydrological study. We're going to meet next week. We should wait until then because the Board of Selectmen will meet tomorrow night
Okay.
and I can get more information. I met with
Clarification?
the current interim town administrator, and we talked in great depth about the island and the two phases, the bridge and the erosion control. And he's going to have a report for us tomorrow night.
But that would be a strategy in terms of shifting it from the operating account to the capital reserve account. If that works out,
Right.
that might be an opportunity for you there.
That makes sense.
Did you want to vote on the island or the concert series, downtown concert series of $2,000?
Sure.
That's on page 12.
That's going to be at Tilton Schools still, or?
Correct.
Apparently. Can't get to the island.
Okay.
And no money was spent this year because of the weather and all the other conditions that happened?
That's correct.
Yeah, it was pretty terrible year for it. Yeah. I'll move we give raise 2,000 for the summer concert series.
Second.
Any other discussion?
What?
We're raising 2,000 for the summer concert series.
Oh. I'm good. I'm good.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, so that's,
Okay, so that takes
That's-
care of
and
that.
then the other was Lake Fusion Planning.
Correct.
I've always found them to be pretty useful, but I'm not sure.
I had a slight
They've been
increase.
very useful in the past, but my understanding this year, we haven't been able to get requested information from them because they've been understaffed.
I'm sure they're like many organizations. I don't know that I think we still have access to things and we still participate.
Also, hazardous waste day continued.
Yep.
And that's a very important
That is, yeah.
aspect, I think, of it.
That's almost worth it right there.
I do.
Yeah.
I agree
Yeah.
with you because I've been there. I've seen all the stuff that was brought in. I was horrified to think, what would they do without it?
Yeah,
What would
no,
they
I
have done
know.
in the olden
Yeah,
days?
and if people are aware of it, they can really get rid of the toxic stuff.
Yes, instead of tossing it down the drain. I'll make a motion to pay Lakes Region Planning, well, not to pay Lakes Region Planning, to include them in their budget for $4,270.
I'll second it. Oh, Judy got it.
Judy
Let Judy do
seconded.
it. It's a little
Although,
pause.
any more discussion?
Verifying the number.
All those in favor? Aye.
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 Opposed? The ayes have it. All right, so. Judy, so we had talked somewhat about the Hall Memorial Library, but we figured we want everybody here to discuss it,
And the PD budget. we're
and the
gonna
police
discuss.
department, on some of the changes that we've made and some of the responses that we've had. So
We'll
we're
have
going to
more
do that
information.
next week. Do you think you can make the meeting next week?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It'll be our last one.
The
before the
chief was
public
here
hearing.
earlier. We promised
Yeah.
we'd wait till next
And-
week.
Right.
Ran into him on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
And then we'll be all set to the public hearing on the 31st.
Okay, so the public hearing we're scheduling for the 31st of this month. Is there any public comment? Questions? Anybody online?
Pat?
All right, well.
Pat?
No, thank you.
Okay, is there any other business? Anyone have
I have
anything?
nothing. Do you have anything?
Okay.
You don't want to go through any more of this budget?
Do you want, what else do we need?
Didn't we do it all already?
What? No,
Pretty much. What do you want to look at?
What's left?
we didn't.
Let's see. The administration, did you
Yeah,
do that one?
We didn't do administration.
Yeah, you
Actually, I
wanted,
was looking
Were
at
we
it.
waiting for something for that?
yeah, you wanted to double check the administrator salary and the one that was written on there was correct.
Yeah, we were wondering if they were going to lower it with the.
It was
new
already
hire.
There was a
lowered.
question on uniforms, right? On
It
something,
was the
That was the
DPW.
DPW. yeah.
right? And there was a cost that was,
Well, we were wondering about why the
The insurance.
insurance was
so
out
high.
of, out of whack.
Yeah, so that just happens to be a function of the census of people that were either on a buyout previously and on insurance now. And also we did hire a new employee last year, so that affected the overall annual increase since they came in mid to late in the year. But that is
So-
correct. And also the uniform cost is correct. I did verify that. And for DPW. And
Yeah, they went up $500, right?
So the town administrator salary, you're going to put in at 110?
No, that's what it was.
That's what
Did
it
you-
says right here,
So
department request.
the board is they're going through the process right now of evaluating and hiring. And so I just thought it made sense to keep it where it was for the time being until they make a decision and have a definitive.
Because in 23, it was 99. Now it's 110.
That was the former town administrator's
Right.
ending salary.
So it's going up for 24.
No, that is what, well, that was, so had the former town administrator been in place for 24, that would have been her salary for 24. That was her wage.
So a 10.2% increase?
But it also may go up depending on the experience that we get in.
So that's the budget you want us to consider. Okay.
110, yeah.
Is there any idea of how, is there a
Mr.
timeline?
Chair? Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Pat.
if I may make a suggestion, you hold off to voting on the administrative budget based on, there may be a change in that tomorrow, and also the DPW, because there may be a change tomorrow night.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. We'll take that into consideration. Yeah, so I guess for me, Tim, maybe you can explain. So the salaries have only gone up 23%, but the expenses, health insurance has gone up 42%, almost twice as much as the salary. So, and I guess I'm just need a little more understanding how that works.
So.
Give everybody a custom plan?
No, it's the numbers that you see are based on the actual census of people that have selected their plans for the year. So with changes in staff, you also get changes in insurance. So somebody could have been on a buyout and then a new person come in and be on health insurance.
So what do you mean by a buyout?
It's like an
So
HMO.
if,
I don't
in other
understand
words,
how
Okay.
sure.
how
I've
that
got-
changes things.
I've got
So
insurance, but Jason doesn't.
Right.
So he can take a buyout from the state. So instead of taking state insurance, they'll give him money.
They give you a flat amount. So
Okay.
like, say if you
Yeah.
don't take the health insurance, you get 5,000 a year.
So you don't give a flat amount of insurance. You do custom plans for everyone?
Well,
Single,
no.
double, family.
Yeah, there's only two plans that people can choose from, which is a site of service and an HMO. They pay considerably more for the HMO plan. The site of service is much more reasonable, but they also have out-of-pocket costs on that they have to cover before it kicks in, basically, to net it
And
out.
employees don't pay any part of their own health insurance, or they do?
No, they do.
Okay.
They do.
That's what.
So, so it varies. The PD is 23%. The non-union is 12% for the HMO plans, and they don't pay anything for the site of service plan. But again, I should say, the PD has a very small fee for that, based on the contract and increases in the contract if health insurance is over a certain amount. But for argument's sake, it's very little that they have to pay for the site of service plan, because you have to pay out of pocket before it kicks in. So you have a significant amount of money that you have to pay out first before insurance will cover
And the
anything.
town's cost is significantly less too.
The town's cost is less for those plans, yes.
So you pay more out of pocket for that.
Yep. So
What is your out of pocket? What is your buyout right now?
the buyout is $7,500 for a family plan paid monthly. A two-person is $4,500, and a single, say, someone that's still on their parents' insurance is, I believe it's $2,250.
Wow.
Savings for the town.
Is it?
So a single plan premium would be in the $10,000 to $11,000 range. A two-person would be in the $18,000 to $20,000 range, and a family plan is in the $27,000 to $30,000 range.
So in the 30,000 range, they're paying them 7,500 not to take it.
Right.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
And you might not even need that insurance if the new person takes a buyout as well. So it's just a guess,
The
approximate,
budget
right?
is, I guess.
Well, we can't,
Not guess
for
the
open
wrong word.
positions, we can't budget a buyout. That
Right.
would be
So
irresponsible.
that's why
But
it just seems so much higher.
Mhm.
What do you usually do for a new position? I asked you this before.
Yeah,
Two-person?
so it depends. If it's if we're looking at an entry level, it's generally a single. Otherwise, it's a two-person. And then if it's a department head, manager, that sort of thing, it'd be family. And that's served us pretty well so that we don't over budget health. But
Under budget?
it's or under budget, but it's difficult. You can have a qualifying event during the year, which changes someone's plan. So if you have a two-person household and they have a baby during the year, now they're a family plan. So so there are things that you sort of have. It's these are just things that happen.
Goes
And
both ways, yeah.
it goes both ways, right?
Thank you.
Yep.
And we also had an answer for the sanitation question that you had asked about with the demo material, that you had wondered why that had gone up so much, and Tim had said that was from Amnesty Week, but he was working on some things to lower it.
Yeah, so one of the things that I'm doing is going back and looking at all the invoices for NRRA that collects our construction and demolition to factor out the residential trash portion, because they typically will charge us. They charge us for the transportation. They also charge us per ton and different rates per ton. But by and large, the cost of Amnesty Week is, the two Amnesty Weeks is pretty significant. I do think I'm going to be able to adjust back some of that. And if you take a look at DPW, you'll notice that we're a little under budget in residential solid waste for the year, and then and I think what I'm going to find is that there's probably going to be, maybe $10,000 or so, maybe $12,000 worth of residential tipping from the transfer station, because people that bring the purple bags there, the people that don't have trash collection on the road that you have to get to that road off of Franklin, they bring their bags to the transfer station. Then other people that buy the purple bags, they bring them there. So, and yet that's fixed in with the rest of the C and D that's tipped from the transfer station. So I've got to go through and do that analysis, and that was one of the things I told the board. But I think that's why you see a little less in terms of residential solid waste and the overage in the construction demolition. But I can tell you there is still going to be an overage in demolition, the construction and demolition line.
Do you think we can tighten this one up a little bit?
Well, yeah, and also I did ask the board permission to look at the fees that we're charging to make sure that they're in line with what we're having to pay to dispose of things. If you have to take material to 140 to Casella, they charge you a flat rate plus on top of that, and you're not able to take things like you can take to the Tilton transfer station in Northfield. They don't allow some of these things that we allow, but the fees that we're charging are several years old and may not be in line with what we're actually having to pay. So I asked the board permission to spend time to look into that. So I'm going to be looking at not only the residential portion of that collection that NRA does, but also look at their individual costs and break it down as much as possible to see and make some recommendations to the board if we need to change some of those fees.
Mm-hmm.
Our fees are pretty low.
They are low, and
Yeah.
we just need to keep, it's not like we have to overcharge people, but the fees should be in line with what our costs are.
Be at least breaking even.
Right. And then you gave us the encumbrances here too, Jim, right?
Right. I think you received a list of what was voted on
Yeah,
at
I
the selectmen's
took the
meeting.
selectmen minutes.
Right. You guys all see that list? Right.
Wrap it up next week.
And what are the senior center maintenance?
So that line in the administration budget, that covers the costs for electricity and general maintenance for the building, any repairs that are required to keep it, up to speed, and pays for the sewer, municipal water, that sort of thing, among other things.
Heat included in that?
Heat and electricity are included in that. Yep.
And what's the line laser 3400?
That is a line painting machine.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yep.
There
The old one was done.
you go.
I thought we took the line painting machine out of here. They didn't buy one?
We did. I think he's looking at the encumbrances.
Oh, you're reading the
Yeah, yeah,
encumbrances, okay.
Yeah, and actually, I think I'll have to check, but I believe we actually, in some cases where we were able to get an invoice and pay it in 23, we won't actually need the technical encumbrance. So some of those things may turn out to be 23 expenses as opposed to 24 encumbrances, but same effect.
Great, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Discussion. Kathy,
I'm good, thank you.
good.
So to clarify, so the next meeting will be next week, and one way or the other, you'll be voting on the stuff next week.
Right, whatever we need to vote on.
So whoever's here,
We
Yeah, I mean,
encourage everyone to come. This
If
is your
nobody
last
shows up,
opportunity.
then
We'll have to do it the week.
We're
after.
gonna, yeah, whoever's here will vote
yeah,
on
we'll
it.
have to do it at the public hearing.
Do it with as many
You
people.
Well,
can't
you
vote
have-
out, you can't, so you're supposed to present a budget to the public
Right,
hearing.
right, I know.
And
No, we have to do it next week.
Yeah.
Well,
We
the
really
there's
do.
31st
one
is 2
more
weeks
in-
away, so we still have another week in between, but
Sure, yeah.
Let's not bring it to the
Fingers
But,
warrant.
crossed.
you know, if
Next
it's
week, no.
just the three of us, and
We'll
the
do
three
it.
of us will do it.
Yeah,
four
right.
of us, yeah. We'll make it happen. And Tim will have all the information for us, so we'll be good.
Look at him. What do we
What am I
need?
missing?
The stuff that you guys decide at the selectmen's meeting, like the.
Oh, yes,
the
yeah,
salary
yeah.
and
And then I'll also do a breakdown of that officer's wages line,
Yeah.
the increase for you.
And were you gonna do something with the sanitation as well, or?
I probably won't have that by next week.
So do you want to vote on that tonight, or should they vote on that, the sanitation,
wanna
since
wait.
she's not gonna have any new information?
Rather wait.
What was that, the,
The sanitation, he doesn't know if he'll have more information for us on
Well,
sanitation, but.
you might have, I think regarding what Pat said earlier, I think there may be some change to that budget.
tomorrow night?
Okay.
Yeah,
So-
okay. So we can wait.
I would say wait.
All right. So we will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Seconded.
All those in favor?
Aye,
Aye.
Aye.
Bye.
Thank you.
that was easy.
Good night.
Night.
Good night. Good night.
That's yours, Jude, and the invoices, you
Oh,
come in the
perfect.
mail, or you can pay from that, it's up to you.
I'll just